It's been 6 days since Mabobe gave birth, and she's already back to her usual self. She can already handle all sorts of chores. The wind in the river bed is so strong it's making it hard for Murad to keep his eyes open. Let's follow the camera inside the small hut. Grandma Bafama is laying down the flooring for the new hut. She starts with a layer of plastic sheeting to block some of the cold from the ground. Bafama carefully folds all the edges and corners of the plastic. She makes sure the plastic lies flat against the ground. With tons of life experience, she's meticulous and serious about her work. The tiny tent now has 4 people sleeping in it, which is way too crowded. It's time to lay the carpet in the new hut for the night. The grandmother and her 3 grandkids can finally get a good night's sleep. This is the new carpet Bafama bought after selling one of her goats. The carpet features beautiful patterns with bright and brilliant colors. These patterns are often symbols of Iranian culture and tradition. They represent a rich variety of stories and meanings. Mabobe is playing with Murad, while her mother is busy with chores inside and out. Since her mom arrived, Mabobe finally has someone to lean on. Bafama starts moving everything from the tent into the new hut. Meanwhile, adorable Murad is drifting off to sleep in his little basket. He's such a sweet and well-behaved kid. While watering the ground, Bafama sees a group of people approaching and quickly puts down the kettle. She walks over to greet them. They walk over in gorgeous clothing, holding an invitation. Before Bafama left her home, she told her family she was going to take care of her daughter, Mabobe. She also let them know she arrived safely. The visitors are Bafama's sister and her children. Today, Bafama's older sister's son is getting married, and the younger sister is here to invite Bafama. They want her to attend their nephew's wedding together. They came all this way just to invite Bafama to the wedding today. The whole family is already dressed up in their fancy wedding attire. After accepting the invitation, Bafama invites them into the new hut to rest for a bit. Mabobe and her aunt greet each other warmly. This is the first time a relative has come to visit. Besides her own mother, no other family has visited since she moved here. There are quite a few people, making the entrance to the hut feel a little crowded. They begin taking off their shoes to go inside. The hut just got its new floor and is already welcoming family. It's like a housewarming party for Mabobe. They all sit down and start catching up, chatting about everyday life. The main topic of conversation is about attending the wedding. Bafama is the first to offer her congratulations. This is the verbal congrats after getting the invitation. Later, they will formally attend the wedding ceremony. Iranians take ceremonies very seriously, so these little details are important. Murad. Bafama tells everyone to rest for a bit while she goes to get changed for the wedding. Dressing appropriately is a basic form of respect for others, so she needs to pick a suitable outfit. Mabobe is also changed into an outfit. She prepares some fruit for everyone. Even though conditions here are extremely basic, they still follow proper etiquette for hosting guests. The aunt brought her 5 daughters with her. These girls seem very well-mannered. They all sit there quietly, not making any noise or fuss. They are very disciplined. The aunt walks over to take a look at little Mobina. She's only 6 days old. She was also born premature, so she needs extra special care. After chatting for a while, they get ready to head to the wedding. Bafama is holding Mobina. The aunt is holding Murad. Mabobe is tidying up the tent. The hut doesn't have a door, and she's worried animals might get inside and make a mess while they're gone. So she decides to take down the tent and use it to block the doorway. Once everything is packed up and secure, they can leave without worry. You really have to admire the incredible resilience of nomadic women and their newborns in this windy weather. They're taking a 6-day-old baby to a wedding. That's something pretty hard to imagine in our modern lives. Entering the village, the roads are lined with loose gravel. The village paths aren't paved either. There are many stone houses around. However, this village looks a lot better off than the nomadic settlements high up in the mountains. Just around the corner, they arrive at the main event. This is the liveliest spot, so it looks like a lot of people have already gathered. Everyone claps to welcome Mabobe and her family, making a no-no-no sound. This is because in Iranian culture, this sound is considered a symbol of good luck and fortune. This sound also creates a festive atmosphere, making the whole wedding more lively and joyful. This family's house is beautifully decorated. They seem to be one of the more well-off families in the area. They all gather together, ready to go inside. On the back wall of the room, there are already several blankets gifted by relatives. Gifting blankets is a popular local wedding tradition. It's also a warm blessing for the couple. Mabobe and her mother arrived in a hurry and didn't prepare a gift. But of course, they won't forget to give a cash gift for the wedding. While the guests wait for the groom to return, the host served them some fruit. This is a common way to show hospitality. As the guests enjoy the food, they feel the host family's kindness and generosity. At the same time, it gives the guests something to snack on while waiting for the bride and groom. This helps ease their hunger and anticipation. The preparation for the wedding feast has long since begun. Delicious grilled meat skewers and stewed potatoes with meat. A large number of guests are attending the feast. Iranians also like their weddings to be big and lively. So basically, any relative who can make it will be there. This requires a professional cooking team to manage the entire wedding feast. It's lunchtime. The groom's family starts serving delicious food to friends and family. The wedding food, in most cases, consists of stewed meats, steamed rice, and some drinks. Iran is a country where alcohol is prohibited. Men and women also sit separately during meals, since there's no alcohol and everyone gets their own plate. The meal is over pretty quickly. After the meal, the groom brings the bride back, and everyone starts singing and dancing. This is the real highlight of the entire wedding. When the groom is lifted onto his brother's shoulders, he starts waving a silk scarf. This is a traditional way to passionately celebrate a major life event. In this ritual, the brothers use their strength to lift the groom up. It's a way of showing him their respect and blessings. The groom waving the silk scarf shows his excitement and passion for the married life that's about to begin. Everyone gives cash gifts to express their blessings for the newlyweds. It's also a way to support them as they start their new life together. As dusk falls, everything calms down. The relatives gradually head back to their own homes. Mabobe and her mother haven't left yet. They want to help the aunt's family wash the dishes. Bafama and her daughter are working non-stop. A wedding feast is a massive undertaking. The used plates are piled up in several basins. The mother feels a bit sorry for her daughter. After all, she just gave birth 6 days ago. She tells her daughter to go rest inside and that she'll wash all these dishes. Bafama stayed at her sister's house last night. The next morning, they prepare to leave. Just then, the ant brings out a gift for them to take back with them. Enjoying the story? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more exciting content coming your way. As the saying goes, a mother's love is the best. That's because a mother plays an incredibly important role in a person's growth and life. The arrival of Mabobe's mother has brought her support and someone to rely on. Just like most mothers in the world, Bafama gets up bright and early. She has already gathered some fuel for their daily needs. The riverbed is mostly filled with shrubs, with very few trees. So, a downside of living here is that it's hard to collect dry firewood. Living here means dealing with the constant wind from the riverbed, which makes life inconvenient. Murad is already bundled up in a thick coat. And as winter approaches, these winds will become even sharper, and a chill will fill the entire riverbed. Right now, Grandma is watching Murad. Mabobe fetches a kettle of water from the river and starts sprinkling it on the ground in front of the hut. The wind here is strong, so naturally, there's a lot of dust. Sprinkling some water every day can help keep the dust down. It can also help make the ground more compact. This little baby, Mobina, only 7 days old, looks so delicate. Growing up in such a harsh environment, I'm really worried about her. Mobina is a preemie and needs even more careful attention. But Mabobe doesn't have better living conditions to offer. She can only live in this simple shelter in the riverbed. Although her mother-in-law has contacted her, there has been no news from her husband, which makes her feel hopeless. She doesn't want to go back to that home anymore. Grandma takes Mobina out of her small bed and places her on her lap. She wraps her in a blanket and hands her to Mabobe so she can feed the baby. Meanwhile, Bafama goes outside and starts mixing some cement. She wants to fill in the remaining gaps around the small hut. Mabobe has Murad lying on her lap and Mobina in her arms. Both of these children are still very young. Without her mother's help, it's hard to imagine how she would survive. Bafama never stops for a moment, always finding something to do. She starts patching the cracks in the walls with her bare hands. Bafama is a sharp and capable young grandmother. After arriving here, she quickly got the hang of the rhythm of life. She keeps everything neat and tidy. The cracks in the walls let the cold wind seep in. At night, it feels even colder. She's worried about keeping her daughter and grandchildren warm. So she decides to take matters into her own hands and fix the problem. In this simple little house, Mabobe and her family will start their new life. For now, her mother Bafoma is in charge of most of the cooking and housework. Mabobe, on the other hand, can focus on taking care of the children. After the baby falls asleep, Mabobe steps out of the room. The water in the kettle is boiling. She's about to make a cup of tea for herself and her mother. She pours hot water into the cups, rinsing them one more time. Even though the local nomads live a tough life, they still value the small rituals of daily life. A warm cup of black tea can bring comfort to the mother and daughter. It helps them relax and soothe their tired bodies and minds. With her mother by her side, while sipping tea, Mabobe can chat with her about daily life, confiding in each other. They share their worries, concerns, and hopes. After tea, the mother and daughter gather some stones from the riverbed and stick them to the doorframe. This simple little act also represents their beautiful hopes for life. A villager from nearby is passing by. He just came down from the mountains where he was gathering wild fruits. He says hello to Bafoma. Bafoma invites him into the house for a cup of tea. After the old man comes in, Mabobe comes out with a tea tray. She pours him a warm cup of black tea. She invites the old man to take a short break. Iranians are very hospitable. Sharing a cup of tea is not just about quenching thirst. It's about offering a warm haven to a stranger. No matter where someone comes from, as soon as they step into your home, you make them a hot cup of black tea. Bafoma chats with the old man, asking what he plans to do with the wild fruits. The old man says he mainly sells them in the city for some extra income to help support his family. The old man takes some wild pistachios out of his bag and gives them to Mabobe and her family. After a cup of tea and a brief chat, the old man gets up to leave. He lives in a village not far from here. As he leaves, he tells them if they ever need help, they can come find him in the village. Mabobe and her mother enjoy the fruit the old man left for them. They savor the delicious taste of his kind gesture. The mother and daughter chat, creating a heartwarming scene. When Murad wakes up, Mabobe puts him back in the small basket and rocks him playfully. Ever since she went to the hospital, her mother has been taking care of Murad. This child is very well behaved. Whether his mom or grandma is taking care of him, he rarely cries. The day Bafama sold the goat, she also bought a gas stove. Now she's installing a lighting attachment, preparing to use it for light at night. She turns on the gas stove, lights the flame, and adjusts the gas level to keep the flame steady. After adjusting the flame size, Bafama puts on the lampshade with a gas lamp. The small hut will be much brighter at night. From now on, they won't have to worry about not having enough light. After setting up the gas lamp, Bafama carries Murad and walks towards the river. She tells her daughter to watch Mobina carefully. The baby suddenly starts having trouble breathing, sending Mabobe into a panic. Bafama sees it but doesn't know what to do either. She immediately decides to rush the baby to the hospital. There's no time to think, they don't pack anything. The mother and daughter grab the baby and start rushing towards the main road. Enjoying the story? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more exciting content coming your way. We mentioned that Mabobe's newborn daughter, Mobina, suddenly started having trouble breathing. They rushed her for emergency medical care, so how is the baby doing? Today, let's find out together. Oh my God. Mabobe and her mother are anxiously rushing to the hospital. Just then, the cameraman reminds them. There's a doctor from the city not far away, providing free medical checkups for the nomads. They can go there first. They walk up along the riverbed, and they see a simple canopy set up under a tree not far away. When Bafama arrives, she asks a woman in a yellow shirt for help. They urgently need a doctor to see the baby. This woman is Dr. Dan's wife. Together, they are dedicated to providing free medical treatment to the surrounding nomads. They travel around the mountainous areas to hold free clinics, offering medical services to the local nomads. All the treatments are completely free of charge. Dr. Dan is busy giving a patient an for drip. Many local nomads have heard about their medical services and have come seeking treatment. Because they have to travel everywhere to provide medical care, the conditions are very tough. Dr. Dan and his wife can only set up simple shelters in the wilderness. This makes it easier for them to move at any time. Dr. Dan quickly checks the baby and then asks the farmer to place her on the bed. The wind here is howling constantly, bringing a biting chill. I'm really worried for little Mobina. Dr. Dan asks the farmer what happened while spraying alcohol on his hands. The farmer carefully unwraps the small blanket, revealing little Mobina curled up inside. As a premature baby, she was born 20 days earlier than her due date. She looks incredibly tiny and fragile. Because Mobina is a preemie, her lungs are not fully developed. Her air sacs and airways are likely smaller. She may not have enough surfactant, which can lead to breathing difficulties and problems with oxygen exchange. After listening with his stethoscope, Dr. Dan says the baby is fine, but she needs very careful attention. He also mentions that the farmer lit the gas stove in the hut that day. He stresses that they must ensure good ventilation to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Dr. Dan very carefully explains to the farmer and her family how to take care of Mobina. Especially in the early stages of a baby's life, her immune and respiratory systems are very fragile. She needs extra protection and attention. Finally, Dr. Dan writes down all the important instructions. Learning that her child is okay, Mabobe is finally relieved as a parent. Seeing your child healthy and safe is an incredible comfort. During the visit, she was tense, worried and anxious. But when she heard that the baby was fine, all those negative emotions quickly turned into relief and reassurance. Mabobe takes some money out of her bag and gives it to her mother. She asks her mom to pay the doctor for the consultation. But Dr. Dan waves his hand and refuses. He says this is a free clinic, and there's no need to pay anything. Thanks to Dr. Dan's kind diagnosis today, Mabobe and her mother can finally rest easy. They thank Dr. Dan for his kindness. The mother and daughter hold the baby and leave with peace of mind. It was a close call, but everything is okay. Mobina is not in danger, so they can confidently return home. In this vast wilderness, the wind blows relentlessly across the land. But the nomadic women seem to have no time to rest and recover. Despite this, they appear to be in excellent physical condition. Just 8 days after giving birth, Mabobe is able to walk around freely. And she's not taking any protective measures. The bodies of nomadic women seem to have an incredible ability to recover. It allows her to bravely face the challenges of this wilderness. The last rays of the sun are about to disappear behind the distant mountains. This is the last trace of warmth left for the earth. At night, the temperature here will drop even lower. The air always carries a hint of chill. Whenever Mabobe comes home, the dogs immediately run out to greet her happily. These 3 dogs have become the main gods of Mabobe's home. If a stranger gets too close, they will bark non-stop. They warn their owner of potential danger. Once inside the hut, Bufama wraps the baby snugly in a blanket. The hut has no door, which is worrying to see. The room doesn't stay warm, which is another problem Bufama needs to solve urgently. Newborns often don't look very pretty. That's because their bodies and features are still developing. However, as time goes by, the child will gradually go through physical and facial changes. Their features will mature, and their facial characteristics will become more defined. Like flowers, children will slowly bloom into their own beauty. After putting the baby to bed, Mabobe starts a fire. Meanwhile, Bufama carries Murad to the river to get a kettle of water. As evening approaches, the wind in the riverbed shows no sign of stopping and is actually getting stronger. The chill from the wind seeps through their clothes, making them feel cool. Next, Bufama places Murad in the small basket. She sits down and gently rocks the basket. Murad is very obedient. Mabobe is washing the tea glasses. The morning scare has left both mother and daughter with lingering fear. They need a cup of tea to soothe their tired bodies and minds. They are running low on dry firewood. Bufama grabs a rope and a small torch. She's gone to the nearby mountains to gather firewood. Murad is a little hungry, so Mabobe takes out some dried apricots and flatbread to feed her son. The 3 dogs at home also need a lot of food every day, which is an additional burden for Mabobe. But she is determined to keep them. She's a very kind woman. How could she have the heart to abandon the dogs that have always been so loyal to her? After boiling the water, Mabobe puts some tea leaves into the teapot. As the scalding water is poured over the tea leaves, they slowly unfurl, releasing their unique aroma. Just then, Bafoma returns from gathering firewood. She's carrying a small bundle of dry branches on her back. She slowly walks this way. It's not easy to find dry branches in the riverbed. You have to go to the higher mountains to find more firewood. When Grandma gets back, she sees her grandson Murad and kisses him on the cheek. Her mother's arrival has made Mabobe's life less difficult. And now it's often filled with heartwarming moments. The black tea has steeped. It has fully released its aroma. Mabobe was waiting for her mother to come back so they could enjoy it together. So when her mother comes in, she goes out, pours the black tea into a cup, and brings it into the room for her. The mother and daughter begin to enjoy a rare moment of relaxation from the moment Mobina started choking. They were frantic with worry, and only after learning the baby was okay could they finally feel relieved. Their emotions throughout the day have been a real roller coaster. Before it gets completely dark, Mabobe takes out a small pot and starts cooking dinner. She and her mother are both a bit hungry. She also needs nutrients for breastfeeding. Dinner is already stewing. Bafoma finds some rocks nearby. She adds them into the hollow bricks on the roof to increase their weight. The wind in the riverbed is incredibly strong, and she's worried it might blow the roof off. So, the experienced Bafoma takes precautions and reinforces it ahead of time. Darkness quickly envelops the riverbed. The village in the distance is all lit up. The light from the fire faintly illuminates the surroundings. Bafoma picks up the small pot of stew and walks towards the hut. Mabobe has already lit the gas lamp. She takes out some flatbread. She and her mother begin to enjoy their simple dinner. That's all for this video. This is Sparks Movie Review. Thank you all for your support. See you in the next video.